I don't know how to start this, but I guess I should say hi. I'm Jake, and in this video I'll be drawing my life. I know you're all sitting there yelling, "Oh my god, this is so 2013!" And yeah, I know, but I wanted to create this, and I think now I've hit 20,000 subscribers, this would be the best time to make it. As you guys know, I like being honest with you, and today I'm going to be explaining everything. This isn't for sympathy, this is just because I want to see if any of you can relate to me, and if I can help in any way that I can. Plus, I love connecting with you. So it all began with my parents late one night getting it on, and boom! There I was, the little sperm swimming along, and I came first, but I must have bumped my little spermy head when I entered the egg because I was born with a few problems. My dad left my mother before I was born, and well, I've only met him once after 18 years, and even though I had always wanted to know who my dad was, when I met him last year, I can honestly say I would have preferred to have never met him. I was my mum's first child, and I was born on the 17th of December 1995 and weighed 7 pounds 7.5 ounces, which is pretty average. However, I was unfortunately born with amblyopia, and this is also known as a lazy eye. I had surgery when I was 3 where the doctor put me to sleep, then performed an operation where he took my eye out, rotated it and put it back in the right position. As gross as this is, I can still remember this, as my mum always used to tell me how when they were putting me to sleep, the last words I said to her were, "Mum, I love you." A year after I was born, out popped my sister Danielle. Fast forward 7 years along, and then came Charlie. A year later came Isabel. So I was blessed with 3 little devil sisters. So now my family is 6 people strong. Me, my mum, my 3 sisters and my stepdad. You'd think we'd have a massive house to fit us all in, right? Well, you're wrong. In fact, all 6 of us lived in a flat. A 1-bedroom flat. Yep, that's right, we had 1 bedroom between all of us for around 4 years. My family were nowhere near rich or even well off. In fact, we had just about enough money for us all to live a life, and that's all we needed. Now come the school years, and God were they fun. I kind of regret ever rushing school because looking back at it now, school is basically a holiday, so as much as people will tell you this all the time, stay in school. I went to a school called Crowfoot Primary School where I made some amazing friends that I still know and see to this day. I was what the teachers called a problematic child, and I'm sure they say this to every single kid. Apparently I knew what to write and was intelligent, blah blah, but I would waste time causing havoc and mischief instead. This was probably my ADHD kicking in. I loved computers, and with this I would always be fiddling with the computers, doing some amazing things, and one day I managed to find a way into the teacher's portal where I found the password to all of the school locks. So I did what every other kid would do, and I used this to run right in the buildings, having teachers chase me, while locking the teachers and unlocking the doors for me to get into. Looking back at it now, I kinda got into a lot of trouble, as I was super silly, but it was hilarious. In fact, there was even a time where I got locked in the cupboard naked at school. But I have a video about that already, so click here to see that. After that, we moved to a 3-bedroom house, and finally, I had my own room, which was the best thing in the entire world. After being kicked out of my primary school on the last year, I waited until middle school. I went to Wellingham Middle School, and again I hadn't learned from my mistakes because I was naughty again. I used to play games with the supply teachers, like the switch your name game, where you would change your name with something in class, and I couldn't hold it in when the teacher was always calling me Rodrigo Juliez. Another game was to see how many pencils we could take and also put into a teacher's pocket before them finding out, and again my mischief caught up with me and I was removed from the school in year 7. So I went to another middle school that was right across from my house called Beccles Middle School, and here I studied for my SATs, went to prom and studied hard for the first 2 months. After that I began to be the usual class clown and get told off all the time. I bet you can't guess what happened to me. Okay, yep, you guessed it, I was kicked out again. On the last day of year 8 we was about to go on a school trip, and I decided to bring a bottle full of vodka and pretend it was water. And this was my first time experience of getting drunk. As I was showing off to my friends, as you do, "Look at me, I've got alcohol, blah blah blah." We was about to board the bus and my friend yelled, "Jake has alcohol!" and boom, I was caught and told I wasn't going on the school trip, and miserably again kicked out of my 3rd school. At this point I was beginning to be a bit of a pain in the bottom and realised I needed to buck my ideas in and start being more sensible. So high school came around and I was still the biggest class clown of them all. And this helped me make some of the most amazing friends to this day. They're Moose, Chris, Jack, Adam, Callum, Max and James. Unfortunately I rarely speak to some of these people now, but I still see Moose, Chris and Jack, who you all know today. In high school I began to realise there were a lot older and mature people. Now not only that, but I actually began to be bullied. Now I was kind of bullied throughout my childhood, but high school was the worst. I was picked on, made fun of. I was labelled as being the poor kid, the greasy hair and spotty kid, and I got into a lot of fights, which were no fault of my own, and I never fought back. But some were so serious that police were even involved. However, regardless of this, I managed to get my head down as much as possible, and between all the silliness and being bullied and stress, I managed to pass my GCSEs with a few A's, B's and a bunch of C's. Now comes 6th form, one of the worst times of my life. This is where stuff gets real and I couldn't take it. The bullying continued, home life was progressively getting bad between me and my stepdad. I had so much bad things going on that I decided to do something which I regret. I overdosed. Do you know how low you have to be for you to be able to want to kill yourself? End your life, never speak to or see your friends or family again? Well, I did. I grabbed every pill I could find in my house and I took them all at once, not knowing what it would do and just thinking about myself. I began to feel sick, I couldn't move, I was continuously throwing up. No one was home as well, and I was stuck in my house in so much pain that I didn't know whether or not I was going to die. My mum came home and saw me and called the ambulance right away. I remember walking downstairs and seeing my little sister crying on the stairs, thinking I wasn't going to make it, and I felt really bad. I got into the ambulance and was rushed to hospital. I was throwing up so much that my stomach lining was tearing. My mum stayed by my bedside until 11 o'clock when she had to leave, and I was hooked up to a bunch of machines, crying, not realising what I had done. I finally got to bed about 3 AM after I sat up for 3 hours talking to a nurse about everything, why I did it and what I wanted to prove. The next day I had specialists by my bed all morning trying to be nice to me and ask all about the situation, but they were really there to try and tell me I was crazy. Later that day I had a thorough checkup, blood tests, scans, you name it, I had it. And before I left I was told even worse news. I was diagnosed with primary liver cancer. Now, primary liver cancer is similar to jaundice, but worse. And if you see me anytime soon, look in the corner of my eye and you'll still see the slight pigments of yellow, which were side effects of the disease. This killed me. I didn't know what was going to happen. I was given shootloads of medication to take every single day, and it affected my life so much. My stomach lining is, and still will be, damaged for life. And this means eating regularly is an issue for me. I began to lose weight and strength. And worst, I couldn't drink alcohol. My 18th birthday was actually spent going to Prezzo's, eating a pizza and not getting white girl wasted. I ended up getting a job at the end of February 2014, working in IT, and this helped to take my mind off a lot of things. I still had gone through so much pain and heartbreak and suffering, but long story short, around a year and a half later of no drinking, constant exercise and loads of pills, I eventually beat my liver cancer and became the happiest person alive. I do stress that if you're ever feeling as low as I was, talk to somebody, a friend, your family, even your parents. They will help you, and I can promise that. Don't make the mistake I did. Please don't ever self-harm and always seek help no matter how hard it seems. After this I never got upset, and as some of you may know, my nickname was Mr. Brightside. This is because nothing ever got to me and I kind of still kept smiling. Plus it's a pretty decent song. And it was around this time I decided to further into YouTube. I've been doing YouTube for nearly 5 years on and off. I had multiple YouTube channels, but eventually stuck with the name The Mophead Edits, and this was on June the 28th, 2012. The reason behind the name is I had long hair, so clearly I was a mophead, and I originally based the channel on editing montage clips from Call of Duty. I did graphics design, speed art, some you'll still see as well. I used to help channels, some as big as 2,000 subscribers, which I basically thought were celebrities and used to fangirl over them. And in return they would give me a shout out and subscribe to me. This kind of helped me to grow, and after a while I got 2,000 subscribers. And then I stopped. Again, I was bullied, I had work to go to, and I was just too busy to do anything. But around August time I decided enough was enough. I had never shown my face as I was always self-conscious and bullied over the way I looked. I hated my appearance, but I created my first ever vlog. And I must say it was one of the best decisions of my entire life. I remember the joy in my face when I hit 10 likes and 100 views. My subscribers started going up and so did my confidence. And now I'm at 20,000 subscribers, which is ridiculous. I've met some amazing friends through YouTube, some amazing supporters, and most importantly, the love of my life. And I want to say thank you to every single one of you for believing in me. Because of you, I'm stronger. Because of you, I'm able to be the person I've always wanted to be. Myself. I'm slowly beginning to live my dream. And I'm going on my first holiday this year to America, which is crazy. I can't stress how grateful I am, and I hope to continue making you happy. Thank you, all of you.